Welcome to the All You Can podcast, the podcast that provides a platform for those doing all they can in today's world. And today, a good brother of mine, a community advocate, recovery specialist. I mean, just someone that overall, in general, just really cares and is willing to go above and beyond. Without further ado, I announce my good brother, Mr. Danny Albert.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, stoked to be on this show.
How was the day?
It's good. I just walked by that booth. Ready to go in there.
You just spit the hot fire.
I will, when we're done with this.
Dialogue. See, that's why I love D. He said, we white water rafting? Let's do it. We spitting? Let's do it. That's part of living life.
Hey, we'll see what happens. Magic might happen. It might not, but it might. You never know.
Oh, man. So thank you for joining us, man. I've been just amazed since I met you, the work that you've been doing in the community. It means so much, man. Recovery is something that my family has struggled with once upon a time, and I've heard some of your testimony and stories, and I can see why you do what you do, man. But let's take it from the top. Where you from, D?
Yeah, grew up in Stilton.
Okay.
Harrisburg, not far from here.
All right.
A lot of great memories growing up in Stilton. Sports, I'm an Albert.
Okay.
So, the Alberts in Stilton are known for coaching, the basketball teams growing up. We got my cousin Jason, Mike, Joey, late Eddie. A lot of great memories growing up.
One of their names are like in the gymnasium or something, right? Or on the bleachers. I can't remember. I think one of your uncles or cousins or one of them.
I feel like Eddie's might be on there, but I haven't been in there recently.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was lucky
Even if there isn't a name on there, that roller clap section is the Albert section.
What's the roller clap? For those that's not watching.
Let's go.
Shout out to the Alberts, man. Shout out to the Alberts.
Let's go.
Man. I want you to touch briefly on the Hero in a Fight. It's the organization that you founded. Mm-hmm. Just want to know what made you start it and a little bit about the mission.
Yeah, so it's Hero in the Fight's a grassroots initiative to break the stigma of addiction and let people know that they never have to be alone.
Yes.
And that you can have fun in life without the use of a substance.
Absolutely.
So what we do is we'll go into schools, educate, but mainly we like to go in the community and provide events and things for fun for people. So we do kickball events. Right now, the last Thursday of every month, we're doing Reiki and healing energy. My good friends Katie McCormick and Jen Friel are doing that at Be Present Wellness in New Cumberland.
Okay.
So it's free. But anything that you can do to for self-improvement, taking time out to just be in life is huge, regardless of anything you're going through, right? But especially for people with substance use disorder, because for years we've tried to escape, and it's all about being present and connecting with people, and all those things come from self-improvement and being the best version of yourself.
Do you advocate for individuals going through things to be freely to speak about it, to receive help, like it's okay, or is it kind of keep it on the low, I can help you over here?
No. It's, we try to let people know as much as possible that there are resources available.
Yeah.
And that's why Hero in the Fight was started. Basically it was everything that I went through that happened to me. Multiple treatment facilities, probation from the age of 17 until 32,
wow.
Off and on.
Were you a knucklehead, D?
Well, but here's the thing, substances caused me to do things I normally wouldn't do.
Absolutely.
Right? Because of that need to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say it went from alcohol and marijuana use to alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine use, and then opiate use, mm-hmm. and then from opiates it was heroin. So I always needed more. Nothing was good enough.
Right.
And to fuel that addiction, I was willing to do anything it took. And a lot of times you weren't safe, and it was the people that cared about me the most that were the least safe.
Wow.
So, but all of that experience, and when I realized I did have a problem, there was so many strong male role models around me that could drink and not lose their house or their families.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I could say I have a problem, because I felt like it would be, well, you're weak.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was like, you're weak.
Right. It felt
you're
like less of a man. Like I don't equate to them because they could do it. Why can't I?
Yeah.
Wow.
And really, it's like real strength.
Wow.
you know, and now I know that, and that's what I'm out here trying to like let people know. But all the experiences that I went through, I then realized as I got into this world, there's so many people that were just like me.
Absolutely.
Dealt with the same things that I did.
Absolutely.
I'm not as unique as I once thought I was.
Even myself, you know, my doctor lost her license and still in for overprescribing people, and I had bilateral carpal tunnel surgery on both my hands. So 6 months was the left hand, 6 months was the right. So I was like out for the whole year. Before I knew it, you know, 300 pounds later, red in the face, just like heavily relying on my medication. Like, oh no, I can't, I'm in pain, I can't leave until, right, it was just, and I'm like, and then I spoke with someone and they're like, you know what, no dude, I think, you know, you're showing symptoms of just being too reliant. You know, it's not that you're depressed if you don't have it, but you're too reliant. Like, like your doctor tells you that, like, and then I realized, you know what, there's no reason to have 6 refills, 120, but and then the news stories come out and you find out more, like, wow, I was affected and I had no idea. So you just never know. It could be your neighbor, it could be your sister, it could be someone right down the street. So, you know, I love what you guys do, and the mission to me stands true because my own father, intravenous drug use, shooting up in the 80s, killed my aunt and uncle, one needle, they call AIDS. You know, so heroin, it took a toll on my life, like very detrimentally. So when I heard of your mission, and by the way, Hero in the Fight, that's Heroin the Fight? Is that kind of like a play on words?
Yep. So it's the lessen the stigma, right? You know, a lot of people that struggle with substances are viewed as dangerous to society,
yes,
or not good people. And the reality is we should look at them as a person that's struggling, and why don't we just care and help for them find some
absolutely
help, you know? So, you know, the word heroin is strong, has a strong connotation, but if you look at it as heroin, it lessens that stigma.
Even how you contrast the colors. That was cool. That was cool, because when you read it or see it on t-shirts, you're like, did I see it? No, I do. So do most people catch on to it, or they just see Hero in the Fight usually?
Yeah, no, but they'll say it both ways.
Eventually, okay.
But I'll never look at the word heroin the same. It's
Wow.
heroin now at this point.
Wow, so even for your own
I see it differently.
It changed completely.
And that's my hope, that one day that everyone sees it that way, heroin.
Wow.
So,
wow.
yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. So icebreaker, because you know, you didn't go too deep. Did you have any childhood pets, and if so, what kind of pets were they?
I didn't have a childhood pet. I did have a girlfriend that left me a cat. The cat's name was Roxy.
Roxy?
Yeah.
How long did you keep Roxy?
Oh man, I feel bad. My Roxy went on to, you know, as I was in my own
I feel
world
bad.
of substance use, got stuck with my parents.
Oh man, Roxy done caught the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, shout out to Roxy.
Prayers up.
It's like that cat from Keanu, but we don't gotta go into that. So how long has Hero in the Fight been in existence, and what's some things you guys got coming up?
Yeah, so Hero in the Fights, we started it just about 7 years ago.
Wow.
We have Recovery Day baseball game September 13th
Ooh.
with the Harrisburg Senators.
Yes.
So
Great time.
looking forward to that. The gates open at 6. If you would like to go on the field and play wiffle ball in the outfield right before the players come out at 5:45, just send an email to herointhefight@gmail.com. We'll get you on the field. Like I think that's one of the coolest things in the world.
Absolutely.
I know you were there last year.
Those kids had a ball last
through
year.
that strike. I saw that through that strike.
I still got the ball commemorated in the glass case.
That's awesome.
That was, but just to tell the kids, like, yeah, I threw the first pitch at the game. It's just like a great feeling. Like, it's just a great feeling, man.
But
And,
I just think about being a kid. If I was a kid, I would have loved to have been out on the field playing wiffle ball. So this is an open invite to anyone listening to this.
anybody coming out, one more time, how could they?
Yeah, send an email, herointhefight@gmail.com with your name, first and last name. I'll put you on the VIP list, and you'll have access at the gate before the gate even opens. 5:45, September 13th, Friday night.
A lot of great vendors. Dauphin
Yep.
County Drug and Alcohol backing. Like, it's so
Yeah,
much great
yep. This is
love
with
and
this is
support.
with Dauphin County Drug and
Yeah.
Alcohol in the support of Commissioner Hartwick and the commissioners.
Absolutely. That's extreme shout out to the commissioners,
Yes.
you know, Dauphin County commissioners. Love you guys. So you guys on the Jumbotron last year. I was like, look
Yeah.
at D. After that on the Jumbotron.
Here's the coolest thing about it, right? Is, you know, when I started Hero in the Fight, I had all this passion, so that way no one else had to feel the way I did, right? And I said that there were so many people like me, and to see Dauphin County and the commissioners stand behind wanting to help people on this kind of level, like, you know, we not only are we doing that, we're also doing on September 21st at Fort Hunter, we're doing a kickball game, partnering with Blessed and Appreciative.
Awesome.
Doug Rao, Andre Myers, awesome people making an impact in the community, just like you and All You Can. But we'll do a kickball game. It'll start from 11 to 2. And then after that, we're doing spoken word poetry.
Dope.
We have a guy that's going to, he wrote a song called Hero in the Fight, which I'm looking forward to hearing.
Wow. Oh, you haven't heard it yet?
I heard a little clip. But
Okay.
I mean, I need this as my ringtone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But the cool thing is, it's just like standing behind about, you know, people using their voice in a way that can be impactful and effective
Absolutely.
by people who didn't really use their voice because they kept it hidden.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the powerful thing about it.
Oh my God.
I can't wait. Like, I'm so stoked. You know, we have a float coming up on August 4th. It's at Hummel Nature Trail.
Okay.
Check out Here on the Fight Facebook page group. You know, that we have all the information on there. But we do a lot of events that let people know you can have fun. But there's other things we have planned. You know, we're going to take a grill out here. I used to live at 13th Street. I don't have the date picked out yet, but just, you know, Gordon's Foods is going to donate burgers for us.
Okay.
We're going to give out water bottles, and we're just going to hand out cooked food
Oh, man.
and talk to people.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Count
it's
us
just
in
like
on
that
Count us
conversation.
in on that.
Awesome,
Oh,
I
yeah,
appreciate that. I'll keep you
absolutely,
posted
man.
on that.
Absolutely. Man.
But
That's-
yeah, it's just like, you know, letting people know that, like, you know, there's a lot of people that need to talk about things they're going through that don't really talk about what they're going through.
Absolutely.
And this is like, just let's just enjoy life. Like,
Yeah.
we're all here living this one life, and
on this
it's not
one
easy.
sphere.
Yeah. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I've come to realize is how I react to the not easy helps, you know, show who I am. And who I was is not who I am today. And I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Who
So
I am is who I am not today. That's strong. That's strong because
yeah.
we find in our culture we are judged off of who we were, not who we stand as.
Yes.
And it's an incredible problem. You know, we all have faults. We all have mistakes. We all are misguided from time to time. But judge me as I am today.
Yes.
Right? Like, you don't say, oh, no, Willie, I know you're 30 years old now, but when you were 6, you drew on my wall with the crayon. So you can. Right? So, I mean, we all make mistakes. But if someone is really trying their best to recover and reach out for help, I think we owe it to that person to at least try to be there, you know. But even to your own point, sometimes when you wear that cape on your back, as I do most of the time,
Mhm.
you find you dig in so deep that you either wind up doing too much and get resented for it, or you can't meet the expectation you set and you disappoint yourself. And it comes with, you know, just learning, like, I have a ceiling, you know, or
Mhm.
there's only but so much I can do because I have a family. I have to self-care for myself as well. But sometimes, man, I just give it all and won't even think of myself. And then think about why I'm so tired the next day, or why I'm running late for my son's concert or something. And the community would never know, like, how much I really put, or like you put, or individuals doing all they can any day really put into their mission, you know.
Mhm.
I get it, some people just kind of skate by doing bare minimum. They work a few jobs and they say they got an organization and they tit for tat it, right? But when there's real individuals that this is their life's mission, it's completely different. You know, I go above and beyond for other people's children most of the time, and you will never even get a thank you card, but we don't do it for that.
Yeah.
You know, to see that same individual 10 years later with that business or living that dream, oh, that's the biggest fulfillment there could ever be, you know.
It's
but
better than any card would ever be.
inspiring them every day, man. I know you feel the same in your line of work. Like, how
Yeah.
often do you see individuals that you've assisted at some time into, you know, society actually living out their dreams or meeting the goals that, you know, years ago they tried to, you know, speak to you about and said they couldn't reach?
Yeah, it's that purposeful life stuff. And you touched on it. You know, sometimes I can go all in to the point where I put myself last. And I've learned in this process that, you know, a lot of things, right? I can't be all things for all people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be judged by people because I put myself in a position to be judged.
Absolutely.
So it's like using the negatives as a positive, like the people that don't believe in me or don't see what I'm inherently trying to do because they can't.
Yeah.
out of their own life experiences. So negativity I take on from other people, I look at it as, you know, it's where they're at in life, and they're just putting it on me.
Absolutely.
But that being said, you know, I get to see people that lose their families get to be reunited with their mom and their kids at like a kickball game. Like that's why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I've been there. I've been the person that wouldn't show up for my daughter because I made excuses. And, you know, tonight after I leave here, I'm going out to her dance competition at Hershey Lodge to bring the hype. And I'm going to be the loudest one in that room.
She's going to kill it.
She's going to kill it. And she's going to kill it. And it's going to go the way it's supposed to go. And I'm going to be proud of her regardless.
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to, you know what the number one thing is, though? I'm going to be present.
Man, that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
I was talking with Mr. Baltimore here at the same desk, and being present is like 90% of the battle, because they're not going to remember the time you were 5 minutes late. They're going to remember the time you were there yelling and cheering and kicking and screaming. I don't care what it is, a spelling bee, a concert. Man, I'm yelling like it's a Motorama race competition. I don't care, but they're going to remember. But my dad was crazy. He was always there. He's always supportive. And, you know, my babies are great. I'm blessed to have children that I have, you know, I mean. But, you know, sometimes it's not sometimes, it's always difficult. It's just sometimes dads wear it well. You know, we wear it well, whether it's the stress or the trauma, we show up, and whether it's appreciated or not, I think being present, you know, is a huge part of it. You know, the absence, it will leave any child like, well, where's my love? Why isn't there any love? But just to be there, cheer on, wear the shirt. I'm corny. I'll wear the shirt with the name on the face. Oh, man, yeah.
She got her moves from me.
Real big.
Dance Dad. I got that shirt.
So, yeah, no, man. Just supporting those kids is important. So, here goes, so the icebreakers we do is like light, deep, then deepest. We'll go into a slightly deeper icebreaker. So,
All right.
has Danny Albert ever had a house party? And if so, how did it turn out?
I've had a lot of house parties. I was just walking on the river with my daughter's godfather, Buzz. We not only had house parties, but like we would play Tonk and card games for cash in high school. While we and then party downstairs and stuff like that.
You a spades player?
Yeah, spades, yeah.
Ooh, shout out to Julia. We were just talking about it. She has a group where they actually teach how to play spades.
Oh,
that's so neat. That's so neat. I used to cheat in placement though. I was like, cheater.
It seems like spades though. It doesn't matter. It's always like three people. You don't have the fourth. You know, it's like three.
So, do you guys take part in any like sports tournaments or anything you guys wanted to do as far as sports related, or do you keep it mainly just like outings, things like that for Hero in the Fight?
Yeah, I think a lot of times we do kickball. With Blessed and Appreciative, they started that. But you know, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Wiffle ball in the outfield we just talked about, but softball's on the radar. There's a lot of different things we could do. I've talked with Ken Alston. He has, you know, he was a basketball player at Steel High too, and he does Alston Performance. Shout out to Kenton.
Shout out.
He started pushing me on these push-up challenges that I've been doing on Facebook. But he was the one that started that with me. But yeah, now we talked about maybe 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, stuff for kids. So it's like a flower that's been blossoming out, just one thing after another, and you know, it's just all about having fun.
So we graduated the same year, so we about the same era. Sega Genesis or Sega Dreamcast?
Genesis.
Ooh, what was your favorite?
I had the Dreamcast too, but I couldn't tell you a game I had for Dreamcast.
I still got a Dreamcast and I still can't take it.
You know?
What was your favorite game on the Sega, the Genesis?
Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
There's actually Knuckles right behind you.
Oh yeah?
Right there.
Oh yeah. Yep, Sonic for sure.
Like one or just any of them?
Doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters.
I mean, I could play Sonic Pinball and have fun back then.
I actually love Sonic Pinball. Like you got to go through the thing, fall in the sewage, you be on the little.
They were always hard too.
It was.
Games back then were better.
Yeah, well, it was hard to beat an 8-bit game, man. It was.
That's true.
Yeah, it was. Aladdin was like.
Yeah.
When I beat Aladdin, I felt accomplished. Like I did something. That game was a bit challenging. Streets of Rage was cool too. Streets of Rage. Did you ever play Ultra Beast for the Sega Genesis?
Mm-mm.
No.
I was Nintendo all day. I mean, even through high school, I had the Nintendo hooked up. we'd mess around with the Nintendo before we went out and partied or anything like that.
NES or
Nintendo.
Super?
No, regular Nintendo.
Regular
Yeah,
NES,
NES.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh man, I like the Switch now too. I don't really find time to play games nowadays though, man.
Me neither.
I usually get them for the students and my own. Like they love them, they enjoy them when they get downtime. They can earn the privilege, but I wish, because some of them look cool, man. Especially from when we used to play some of these games. Now I'm like, you're lying. There's no
Yeah.
way. What do you think about Grand Theft Auto, the new one? It's about to be like $150 because of the downloadable content.
I didn't know that.
Dang.
That's how far out removed I've been.
Yeah, they're saying because of all the money getting put into it and how extreme it's going to be like base value, like $149 to purchase. Like that's.
I won't be purchasing that one.
Yeah, that was a bit extreme.
But-
That was a bit extreme.
It doesn't surprise me at the same time.
I understand it, like the technology and things they put in it, but whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now current events. Do you like stick with like the news and the things that's happening like local? Not even locally. So internationally, I'm not sure if you're familiar. Russia actually parked their subs, their nuclear prepped subs, like 60 miles off the shore of Florida. Like that's where they are right now, because we supplied Ukraine with the nuclear bombs and missiles that killed 2 babies and 2 adults in Russia on the beach. So they didn't ask, they summons for the American Prime Minister to come speak to them because they are just about ready to pull that button or push the button, whichever. I find it horrifying that isn't like the main story we see, but you'll see like Diddy on every channel.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
But also, it's like at the point where what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
So, how true is it? I'm sure it is true.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, there's so many things that I wish were done differently and
Yeah.
could be differently.
Yeah.
I think, we just need strength and to prove that, we're not going to stand for things like that. And I don't know.
I mean, to me, it was scary when Texas was fighting for their right to close their border, and the federal government actually went against it in court and went against their order and didn't allow them to secure. And that's what starts a civil war. I mean, then you get the federal against the state, and you're actually fighting over the security and the right of land, which they were born with. It's just a different day, man. I feel like we're going backwards, if anything.
Yeah. I know we need a change.
We were at the Civil War Museum today with our students for the summer camp, and some of just like the basic things that you and I probably know when we were 3rd grade, they were like, no way, that's the old American flag. I'm like, yeah, dude, it was only 13 colonies.
Mhm.
Like blown away. And I'm not saying like schools are bad, but like what is being taught when they're there from 8:30 to 2:30 or 3:30. Because very basic remedial things that you and I picked up on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, it's like high schoolers are still like, oh, for real, Mr. Ralph? I'm blown away. Even when I asked about certain directors or, just very remedial things, it's just like, no, I had no idea. It really puzzles me because I feel like, I'm trying to be very modest here, but I've seen teachers just pretty much open your laptops, da-da-da-da for the rest of the period. There's no real engagement. I'm not saying all the teachers are like that. There are some fine educators, in the system. But for a great deal of it, it's just like open up ingenuity, knock out whatever lessons you can, and I'll be here.
Yeah, I think there's so much that needs done, right? COVID times now have students on laptops, on computers, but also like if we paid our teachers a salary that was fair and like made you want to be a teacher and made you want to excel, we'd probably have more smart minds in the roles as teachers teaching our youth.
Yeah.
And if we thought to like look there,
Yeah.
that's a start,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
you know,
Put that money where, definitely put your money where your mouth is.
yeah, it's like what are we, as a country looking at as important to us? Is it our future? All right, well, if it's our future, why don't we invest in that?
Children are the future, so it would make sense, right? Like, but when you see how these dollars get allocated, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why aren't we putting it more to drug reform? Why aren't we putting it more to drug recovery or, education in the classroom? Which you see our dollars go to billions to Ukraine and, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. It definitely makes you worried.
Invest at home, yeah, and mental health and all the things that we know are coming. Let's get up, ahead of it. Right? We've always been a reactive
Mhm.
kind of mentality rather than proactive.
Absolutely.
And that's why you hear people that go to these let's just say council meeting, right? They're passionate because something affected them, and the people listen to it and they hear it in that moment. But then there's so much noise that it gets left behind. Not saying that there's great intentions behind everything, but it's like, you know, I just know it's a bigger issue than what we all look at it as, and I look at it from an at-home standpoint. All right, so I want my daughter to have thought processes and skills and like real life communication skills. Absolutely. So that way she knows how to pivot when this and that's presented. It's like, you know, just teaching at home at this point, because I don't know what's getting taught.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You hit a valuable point though, like to be able to equip ours for when that moment comes, they know how to deter. Right? Because I feel like a lot of the youth that I speak with or engage with, or even in my class, at one point they didn't know that they can walk away or say no just that easily. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, but they're going to call me a punk or they won't talk to me. So, what do you have that now? No, so you won't have it tomorrow. What did you lose? Like, you know, I get it, and I remember how it feels to want to fit in, right? How it feels to, I just want to be one of the guys, right? I was once an outcast, but I still am kind of, because I don't fit any norms or social, like, or society specs from whoever. I just feel like if you walk with God's mission every day, you're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're affecting people's lives where you see the positive outcomes come out, that's God's mission right there. You know, sometimes we lose focus of that little voice because we think it's just, no, that's basic, that's my conscience. Mm-hmm. That could be God, you know, your connection with God or what that may be. But I just think sometimes really just people forget how strong they are and what we really are. You know, once we get in like the 30s and 40s, we get the job, we get married, and then we're at comfort. And when we're at comfort, it could get dangerous because comfort could be a killer. Mm-hmm. I always tell the students, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Find different positions, you know, find different things that you wouldn't even see yourself wanting to do. Try it out. You never know. Like one of my favorite movies is Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It's silly, right? But look at all the things he was able to positively go through in life because he listened to the homie and just started saying yes to everything. He went to the no man meeting and just started saying yes. Great things started happening, and I think really in life, when you talk about energy and a universal connection, a lot of people say it because it sounds cool, mm-hmm. but when they go home, they don't really believe it, right? They're still in conflict with themselves. But if you are actually saying something genuinely and believe it, the universe will know it's authentic. Mm-hmm. That's when stuff starts gravitating and working and happening, right? Some people are basic to the point where I'm going to do good because if I do good, I'll get good. It's not how it works. Like, it's just not. And that's one thing I want to leave anybody with that's watching this today. Like, when you're out doing the works of God, or you're doing the works of any missionary or, you know, any church or any group, nonprofit, you have to really, really believe it. You know, sometimes people get in it just for the service or to mark a few hours or a paycheck. But I'm pretty sure you are like heart in it. You know, like me, I am heart in it. I can't turn it off at this point. You know, I get calls midnight, get calls at 2 in the morning, 10 in the morning. It doesn't really matter at this point, right? It's all a part of the process. But with your mission, are you guys connecting people with, because mental health goes aligned with it, I mean, hand in hand. So are you connecting individuals that need a bit more to like mental health resources as well?
Yeah.
Once you get them through that recovery stage? Yeah,
so the longer that Hero on the Fight's been in existence, we've created relationships with so many different, you know, facets.
Absolutely.
And everything is unique, right? It might be, you know, a 16-year-old that needs to go into an inpatient facility. Well, where do you turn, right? Or, you know, XYZ, and we've been able to help create relationships where we can facilitate that process.
That's amazing.
But I wanted to touch on what you said, you know, authenticity. You know, if you live in your authenticity, you know, there's going to be people that are for you and people that aren't for you.
Absolutely.
Regardless.
Absolutely.
Right? But if you can live your true authentic self and believe in your own abilities, everything's going to take care of itself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it's, you know, that mindset of, you know, whether this thing goes good or bad, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. and it's also, why am I being tested?
Yeah.
And I'll have good happen, but then I'll have bad happen. It's just when you're in that bad, it's just knowing that there's an end to that, and not living in it, and just looking at the future and the focus of, all right, well, this is for a moment, it's for a season.
This too shall
It's
pass.
for a reason
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
and it'll pass, and just stand tall, and just like you said, if you're gonna do something, why not try to do it to the best of your ability?
Absolutely.
And I think that carries weight in life, and that's where you see people that are elevating in life, is because when they step to the table, they're bringing something. And there's a lot of people that are okay with being, stagnant, and that's okay,
Yeah,
right?
it
Like
is.
that's on them,
It is.
right?
It is.
But it's the level of energy you bring to life is what you're going to get out of life.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, that's the kind of stuff that carries you before you even walk into the room.
Yep.
Because that's how you carry yourself every single day. It's how you answer the call of life. And, when negative things are happening, how do you respond? Well, that showcases who you are.
Absolutely.
And we all go through hard. Just live your authentic self, and everything will be all right. And when you have a team of people around you, and you start putting yourself around the winners, and you see what they're doing to win,
Yep.
and you lean on, you get in their pocket, right? And that's what I've done in all different facets of life. And I'm the general manager of the Melting Pot, but I learned a lot from other managers and owners
Right.
to give me skills that I possess today. But it's because I ask questions.
How'd you get along with that, with the Melting Pot?
I was a server at the Melting Pot at one point, and I was fired from there because of my substance use.
Gotcha.
Right? And it got to the point where I was IV drug using in the bathroom, and
Wow. Right at work.
yeah, a lot of the nevers. I was like, I would never, use a needle, and I would never do this. Found myself doing, and I had never had a plan to do it. It was, I didn't care to be alive at one point, like for a long period of time, because of how hard life was for me. But the substances took me away from life and feeling. So I could watch and witness terrible things, but not feel them.
Right. So numb.
No way to live. Yeah, numb. But that's what led towards me getting fired from there. But I would, the owner said, you have two options. You either go to treatment and get help, or you're fired. And I said, well, I'll go to treatment and get help. And he said, if you do that, I'll do everything in my power to help you.
Wow.
Yep. So they kept my job for me. They were supportive of me. I went to treatment. I came back, and I went back to using substances, right? And I had a lot of people that cared about me. And I cared about them too, but I didn't care about myself, you know what I
You feel
mean?
like you let them down?
At that time, big time. But I didn't just let everybody else down, I let myself down.
Wow.
That was the biggest one,
Wow.
right? Like I didn't even want to look in the mirror anymore. So, that pain that comes with your parents kicking you out of the house, your best friends kicking you out, people telling you they can't support you no more, all alone, living out of the back seat of your Chevy Blazer, parking at this, Federal Tap House parking lot, and going to the Strawberry Square to walk around and wash up at the sink. All those things, you know what I mean? It's like life experience, but it was at the rawest form. And I went to treatment a second time when I got a job at the Cork and Fork. And that owner, Nick Laus, he said, go get help. I'll keep your job for you. And when you get out, I want you to call me every day.
Wow.
And that's what I did. And, I would come home and, to the recovery house because I was living with people on their same journey.
Wow.
And I would be angry at everything. I was angry that I didn't have my kid in my life the way I wanted her. I was angry that my parents felt like I was not safe to be around them, so they didn't want me around.
Wow.
So, when you're that person, you start feeling like, they don't care about me and things like that.
Wow, D. That's pretty heavy, man. What made you feel like your parents thought you were like too dangerous to be around?
Well, a few things. They were talking about how they were going to pay for my funeral when I was in the other room at one point.
Wow.
And I would hear it, and I would go upstairs and I would use substances.
Wow.
I pawned my mom's ring that my dad got her. I sold my dad's Xbox that had everything saved on it.
Wow.
you know, I hurt the people that cared about me the most. And those were the people I cared about the most too. But I didn't care about me, and I cared too much about getting high to even think about any of that. So I ran farther and farther and deeper, and I lost more and more. And, you know, here's the thing. The only thing I would change from all that is the hurt that I caused other people. Right? Like, I needed that experience. I'm grateful that I'm alive and I'm here today because I can show up in life differently than I ever did. Because I've experienced life in a way that I hope a lot of people don't have to experience. And it's a journey to me learning more about myself, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know the best version of me is one that does not have a substance in my body, and that's, you know, my daily mission every single day is you know, to help others so they don't have to experience a lot of what I experience.
Well, I'll tell you this, my brother, the world is a much better place with you right here in it. So I'm
Likewise,
grateful.
man.
I'm grateful.
Likewise.
I'm
Appreciate you,
grateful,
man.
And, so what kind of toll did this take on baby girl, though, on your daughter?
Yeah, so she was 5 when I went to treatment. You know, I have my daughter part-time, right? Her mom has her full-time.
Okay.
And her mom's awesome, right? Shows up for her. She always has, never stopped. She's at that dance competition right now with her that I'm heading
Shout
to.
out to mom.
Yeah. And I cause a lot of pain there too. And there's feelings that go up and down, you know, and I know that my daughter wishes I could be there more.
Right.
And it's just, like I said earlier, you know, showing up the moments that I do have her. You know, for the first, so 7 years in recovery, for like the first 5 years, I made it a mission to be the only person, like standing ovation every single time she does
Absolutely.
something. And I would be the only person standing up doing it. And one day she said, Dad, I don't see you when you're doing it. So I thought, well, what am I doing this for me or for her? So now I'm the loudest person in there, so she can hear it. And I say, do you hear me when I'm up? She's like, yeah, Dad, I heard you. Right? But this last dance competition, I had, you know, an awesome moment where, you know, they got 6th place in nationals. And the last time I was at their nationals, they got 1st place. And the judges look at different criteria all the time. The dancers are phenomenal, right? And there was a good group, so everyone that won deserved it.
Absolutely.
But she came, you know, off with the girls, and I put my arms around her shoulder, and I was able to talk to her a little bit, right? And it's like, that moment was awesome, because it was directly when she walked on out. She came over to me. No one else around us mattered. But that's what I try to bring to the table when I am with her, right? And you know, sometimes I spoil her too much. I try to give her the things that I'm not able to give her every day, and I got to watch myself with that too, because I could want to go to Hershey Park or the Phillies game, and she said, Dad, I want a jersey. I saw the price of the jersey was $199. Did not buy a jersey. So there are things that I'm not going to do, right? But, you know, I still want to buy her hat.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, so I have to be careful, because I want her to have a memento from every single time we're together, because I don't get her as much. But just being aware and just making that time count. And it's not about the material things.
Right.
It's about the moments.
Absolutely.
So that's why that moment was awesome.
Absolutely. I tell mine all the time, especially my older ones, like, baby girls, you're going to college soon, and the time you might think you have now that you could just blow, you're going to kind of wish you had these moments again. So please don't trail on it, don't tread on it. I'm a corny dad. I want to buy movies, just sit and chill, let's pop popcorn, because I know, you know, the tactics that people thought of mine that were a bit over the top and crazy. Okay, if they're crazy, I've led these babies into scholarships, full rides, president of council, right? Like, these babies are phenomenal.
Awesome.
So if Joe Jackson, they say he was abusive to Mike, well, he whooped Mike into a billionaire and the best recording artist there ever was. So who knows why he really did what he did. I just know what I didn't have in my life, and I want to be there for them in that way, you know, to secure and let them know I never had a daddy-daughter issue, or I never had a daddy issue, or my dad's great, you know, when they get older and they get boyfriends, or whatever the case is. I just want to be secure and know the job I've done is, and the tools I've given them they're able to pull out at any given time and really utilize it, you know. 'Cause
Great
sometimes
job.
it scares me. It scares me. But
Yeah.
just like a bear, we gotta raise them up, those cubs,
Like
to
what we
the
talked
best
about,
we can. And
teaching our kids.
you release them to the wild, man, and you just gotta hope you did the best job, because no matter what kind of parent you are, if you're a sneaky parent, if you eavesdrop, you know, eventually they're gonna find out. You're gonna lose more trust in them than anything.
Mhm.
So I just, my best policy is just be upfront.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling one of my students that, dude, I don't care what you broke, just be honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we can repair that, but repairing your character is gonna be difficult.
Yes.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I hope they catch those jewels, man.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard. But I'm
Yeah.
holding on to the 13-year-old.
Yeah. No doubt.
But
We're
please,
lucky.
Give an extra yell, a loud
What a gift
yell
we
from
have
me.
in our
Oh my
lives.
God. 3
Yeah.
girls. I must have been terrible when I was younger.
Yeah, that's what they say. I have one girl, you know.
And I got twins.
And I'm
so
blessed. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh.
I mean, it turned me into,
a
you know, a
great
different
man.
person.
Absolutely. Because if I didn't have them,
I'm soft. I'll be honest. I'm softer now.
and need it.
Yeah.
And need it. Because at one point when I was not, it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
For anyone, not
I
even
agree.
myself. You know, there was a point when my oldest was born where I just got in trouble, got my first charge. So it was a real fork in the road. But listen, dude, 3 of your best friends just got murdered. Your mom just died. You could continue going that way, and you'll see what's there. Or look what just came in front of you. This little beautiful girl, man. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I made my decision, and oh, I'm so proud I did.
What a gift.
I'm so
Awesome.
proud I did,
That's
man.
awesome.
So we have the deepest. Let's see, the deeper. All right. So, what was a moment in your life when there was a lot of drama, and what was going on?
I like these deeper ones. I mean, I don't like them. Yeah, this would be Caden. My daughter was about 1 or 2 years old, and I was living with her mom. And well, I don't. All that stuff's so cloudy for me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I was living with her, maybe I wasn't. But she, we broke up, and she went with another guy, and she moved to Philly. And
Wow.
the decision to move to Philly was to get away from everything that I brought to the table, right? And meanwhile, my thoughts are, my daughter needs her dad in her life,
Absolutely.
and I never looked at myself as being the problem in all the things that I caused to create that. So that mental warfare, yeah,
It'll terrorize you.
yep. And there's more to that story, but I'll leave that, you
Yeah.
know, where it's at.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Wow, man.
yeah.
So, is there anything you want to let the audience know you guys got coming up? Definitely Recovery Month, if you want to give that information again, get more participation. Anything that just Hero in the Fight, or even if you guys are hiring at the pot, like just
Yeah.
anything you want to promote or get the word out.
Yeah, and you know, first off, I'm excited for the students to come out at Stilton.
I can't wait.
You know, what a full circle thing, right? To like go to Steel High. Thank you for allowing me to come out and speak to the students of
that
the
was
school,
awesome.
doing the push-up challenge. And I made an offer that through the Harrisburg Melting Pot, the kids that keep their grades up can come out to the Melting Pot, and we'll take them on a tour on what it's like to open up the restaurant. I'm going to make them fondue with another employee. So it's like giving back in that way.
There was
But the students that are working hard for it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
As far as the Melting Pot goes, anyone that has any interest, it's on Paxton Street, 3350. You know, walk through the door. My name's Dan. I'm the general manager there. Just tell them you know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have an in-person interview with you. We're always hiring good people, is what I like to say.
Awesome.
You know, even when we're not hiring, we're always hiring good people.
What's the age? The youngest you hire?
So we'll bring on 16
Okay.
for the most part, working permit.
Awesome.
We did have a 15-year-old with a working permit. It's just 16 is, you know, what we like to hire. But that being said, Hero in the Fight, check out our website, www.herointhefight.org. But most of our information comes out on the Facebook group page, Hero in the Fight. We partner with Dauphin County Drug and Alcohol. Dauphin County Recovery Month's coming up in September.
Oh, yeah.
We have that baseball game we talked about. That's on the 13th of September. September 21st, Fort Hunter, kickball.
Kickball. Poetry slam.
It's one thing to talk about it, but I'm telling you, check out our Facebook page. You'll see the pictures. You'll see some video. You'll see the energy. It's like nothing that you can ever experience without being there to experience
Absolutely.
it.
And it's for a great
Right.
cause.
Yeah, it's for a great cause. You don't have to be someone that's struggled with substances yourself. Come on out and support other people that are finding a pathway to
And
recovery.
you don't need athletic ability either.
Now I'm proof of that. Let's just on a golf course. Then I can hang.
You got to
on a
teach me to play
golf
golf then. I have no idea what I'm doing out there.
course. I got you.
I have no idea.
I got you.
I don't know
It's a
nothing
good
about
time.
form or anything.
It's a good time. Get
But I heard
outside
there's
your comfort
some- I
zone.
heard there's some great camaraderie that happens out there on the field, though. Like, guys just want to kind of get away the depression of either life or the stress
Yeah.
of work, or just kind of go out in the greens and just kind of,
Yeah.
shoot it, man. I heard great stories. I've just never had the opportunity.
Golf is all you're focused on is that golf ball, your next shot, and you're in nature, and there's a lot of principles that are reflective of you got to forget the bad shots,
Right.
and you got to move on to the next shot. You got to trust in your abilities, and it's not easy, and that's what makes it so rewarding and wanting to go back. Is that good shot? It always brings you back.
Happy Gilmore is probably about my extent of like
Oh, yeah?
training, shooter.
Well, you got mini golf in you, don't you?
Mini golfing, yes. I'm
All
a
right.
beast. Oh, I'm a beast
Listen,
in mini
if
golf.
you could putt, then that's
I'm
that's the main part
I'm
of
actually
it.
pretty good with like the close game, the short game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where the money's made.
Yeah, because I was always like a pool player, so like my accuracy, like my attention to like where I am or how far, trajectory, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Always been good at that, but like I guess I've been kind of intimidated by like just initially starting the long, like what do they call it when you're first teeing off? Is it just teeing off?
Tee shot.
Yeah. Like I've never took a shot like that in my life. I think I'd swing the club 300 yards and somebody get hit.
It's just like anything. The more time you put into it, the better you're gonna get.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
I got you.
Yeah, you got to put me on.
I
You
got
to put
you.
me on.
I got you.
So D, I really thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart. From all of the team. Your journey is so inspirational. To many watching as well as to me. So you, my brother for life, and I just appreciate you stopping by to talk. And man, you got my support with the Hero in the Fight at any given moment.
thank you,
man.
appreciate it. Thanks for all you do,
Oh,
right?
Man.
You're doing all you can and you represent it on your chest, but you live that.
Absolutely.
So I respect that as
Yeah.
well, and everybody that's watching this respects that. And
Yeah.
that's why you have the people watching you the way you do because of the way you carry yourself. So
Thank you. And that's why
Thanks
this
for having
platform
me.
is so important, because there's those doing all they can every day, and they don't care about a trophy or a plaque. They're just doing it because it's who they are.
purposeful.
And I want to be able to amplify their voice and their mission and really, provide that platform for them. So, like we always say, from me and mine to you and yours, are you doing all you can today? Peace.